It is not the newest thing in the driveway. It has not been the newest thing in the driveway for a long time. The paint has faded in one spot near the rear quarter panel where the sun hits it every afternoon. The driver's seat has a wear pattern that matches exactly one person's posture, one person's weight, one person's way of sitting slightly left of center on long drives. The stereo skips sometimes. The air conditioning works on its own schedule. There are 160,000 miles on it, and the person who owns it knows every single one of them. People have suggested selling it. Reasonably, practically, with genuine logic on their side. You could get something newer, something more reliable, something that doesn't need what this one needs. And the person listens, nods, considers it, and does not sell it. They will not sell it next year either. From the outside, this looks like sentimentality, or stubbornness, or a failure to think clearly about a financial and practical decision. But what is actually happening runs much deeper than any of those explanations can reach. Because the first car is never really a car. It was never just a car. And the refusal to sell it is not about the object sitting in the driveway. It is about something the owner understands, maybe without being able to say it plainly, that selling it would cost them something that no amount of money can replace. This is the psychology worth examining, and it begins not with the car, but with the person who was standing there the day they got it. Think about when a first car arrives in a person's life. It almost always arrives at the same moment, the moment when a person is becoming, not yet fully formed, not yet certain of who they are or what they want or how the world works. Somewhere in that window between dependence and autonomy, between being defined by their family and beginning to define themselves. The first car arrives precisely there, in the middle of that becoming, and it does something no other possession does. It makes freedom physical, not freedom in an abstract sense. Actual, tangible, leave when you want, go where you decide, answer to nobody freedom. For many people, it is the first time in their lives that their movement through the world is controlled entirely by their own choices. No asking, no waiting, no depending on someone else's schedule or someone else's willingness. Just keys and road, and the particular silence of being alone inside a moving vehicle at night with nowhere specific to be, and the whole city available. That feeling does not attach itself to the concept of a car. It attaches itself to that specific car, the one that was there, the one whose seat remembers them, the one that carried them through every version of themselves they tried on during those years, and never once judged any of them. Here is what psychology tells us about why that bond is so difficult to break. When a person forms an emotional attachment to an object during a period of significant personal development, the object becomes what researchers call an identity anchor. It is not merely associated with memories. It becomes structurally connected to how the person understands themselves, who they were, what they survived, what they became. And this is why the first car is remembered with a biographical specificity that almost nothing else from that period matches. People who cannot remember what they ate for dinner last Tuesday can tell you exactly what song was playing the first time they drove alone. Exactly where they went, exactly what the light looked like coming through the windshield. The memory is not stored the way ordinary memories are stored. It was encoded during a period of heightened emotional significance, which means it was encoded deeply, permanently, in a way that time does not easily erode. Selling the car does not erase those memories, but it removes the physical object that holds them in place. And for some people, that removal feels dangerous in a way that is hard to articulate, as if the memories might loosen without the anchor. that as if the person they were in those years might become harder to access. As if something would be lost that cannot be recovered through photographs or stories or any other substitute. They are not wrong about this. They are responding accurately to something real. Now consider what the car actually witnessed. The first car was there for things that no other witness was present for. The drives taken alone after difficult conversations. The parking lots where decisions were made that changed the direction of everything. The long roads at night when the future felt impossible, and the only thing that helped was moving through the darkness at speed with the window down. The morning after the first real heartbreak. The drive home from the job that finally said yes. And the specific route taken so many times during a specific period with a specific person that the road itself became part of the relationship. The car did not participate in any of this the way a person would. It did not offer comfort or advice or company in the human sense. But it was present, consistently, reliably, in a way that very few things in a person's life during those years managed to be. And presence, even silent presence, accumulates into something that the human brain registers as relationship. This is not metaphor. Psychologists who study human object attachment have found that people form genuine emotional bonds with objects that were present during formative experiences, bonds that activate the same neural pathways as interpersonal attachment. Yet the brain does not sharply distinguish between a relationship with a person and a relationship with an object that carried the weight of a person's most significant moments. Both feel like connection. Both feel like loss when they end. This is where the refusal to sell becomes fully legible, because selling the first car is not a transaction. It is a severance. It is handing something over to a stranger who will never know what it carried, who will sit in that driver's seat without knowing whose posture shaped it, who will drive those roads without knowing what happened on them. The car will become, to this new owner, simply a used car, a vehicle with high mileage and a stereo that skips. And something in the person selling it knows this, and something in them cannot accept it. There is a grief that comes with selling a first car that people rarely talk about because it sounds disproportionate. Because cars are supposed to be practical objects. Because the reasonable thing is to upgrade and move forward and not be sentimental about machinery. But the grief is real. And it is not about the car. It is about the version of yourself that the car witnessed. The one who was figuring everything out. The one who had no idea what was coming. The one who drove away from home for the first time alone and felt, maybe for the first time, like the future belonged to them. Selling the car means admitting that person is gone. That those years are over. That the road between who you were and who you are now is longer than it sometimes feels, and that there is no driving back. Some people sell eventually. Life changes. Ere practicality wins, the car finally needs something that cannot be justified, and they do it. And they are fine. But there is a moment, usually quiet, usually alone, usually when the new owner drives away, and the driveway is suddenly empty in a way it has never been before. When something shifts. When the weight of what just left becomes briefly, completely clear. Others never sell. The car stays. It gets fixed when it needs fixing. It gets driven on weekends or not at all. It sits in the garage under a cover and the owner walks past it sometimes and does not stop, does not look directly at it, in the same way a person might not look directly at something that means too much. Neither of these people is wrong. Both of them understand something that is easy to miss in a world that is always encouraging you to upgrade, to move on, to trade the old thing for the new thing and not look back. Some things are not about value. Some things are about what was happening in your life when they arrived, about who you were when you needed them, about the fact that they were there, consistently, during the years when consistent was the rarest thing in the world. The first car did not just take you places, it was there while you became someone. And some things, once they have been that, are allowed to stay.